About 20 years ago, we had a dog. We got a dog, paid $25 for him, right up the road here. We called him Scooter. I can't remember where we got that name at, but it fit him perfectly. Down in Kentucky, Tennessee state line, southeastern Kentucky, McCreary County. The Tennessee state line marker is in my dad's backyard. You can walk in my dad's backyard and you can see the Tennessee marker right on the state line. Anyway, one time me and Scooter the dog, we decided there was a gravel road I was wanting to see where it went to, about a half mile from the house. So we ended up, I tied a little rope. I didn't have a leash, just tied a little rope to his collar he had. I didn't want him to get hit, even though he was out in the middle of nowhere, county road. Anyway, we walk, and he wasn't too big and he wasn't too small. Perfect sized dog, jet black. And we walk in the woods. It wasn't a gravel road, it was actually a dirt road. We go back here, we're in the woods, and all of a sudden he starts barking. And he goes crazy, and you can see his ears. For 20 seconds, his ears is really trying to hone in on the frequency of that noise. Really trying to hone in. And as he's trying to grasp where that noise is coming from, all of a sudden his head just points up and he starts raising Cain. I look up, there's a hornet's nest. Now you know the size of a fire extinguisher. The library here has got a commercial grade fire extinguisher. It was longer than that, the hornet's nest. Looked like 10 million of them. And I didn't hear it. I guess because maybe a little windy. We was walking through the woods, me and him. I didn't hear it. So thankfully, I got a warning, and I was getting ready to. There was a real dirty cove pond. It was just where they got in there and dug a hole or something. But it was real red, brown, dirty cove water. And I was getting ready to just throw. I was just bored. I was getting ready to throw wood in there or limbs or anything. And that would have stirred him up. I'd probably, if he wouldn't have been with me, I'd got stung to death. Anyway, how smart a dog he was. I knew we had to get out of there real quietly. So I said, I grabbed him by his collar. I said, "You get against my leg." Or I said, I didn't say that. I said, "Come, we got to get out real slowly." And what he did, he put his head against my leg, like as if he was saying I understood. Now, first of all, Scooter, he reminded me of a juvenile, of a rebellious juvenile. In other words, not the trouble kind, but he was a lot of fun. It was like a rebellious juvenile that you can't help but like. That's the way his attitude. Real fun-loving dog. Anyway, he got against my leg as we was slowly getting out of there because we was horrified. He has actually started crying a little bit because he understood what I was saying. Real smart dog. Oh my God. Anyway, as we walked out there, he kept his head against my leg. In other words, he was obeying every order I gave him. I just gave him one. Let's walk out here real quiet. Just don't make no noise. And he followed me with his head against my leg until we got out of there. He's a smart dog. And we got on the shoulder of the road. I hugged and kissed him on top of his head, and I gave him a big hug. It wasn't for him, I'd probably been stung to death. I didn't see it. For some reason, they wasn't noisy enough to draw attention. But there's 10 million up there. And I go home, I gave him all kind of treats. He loved this cat food, this moist cat food. My sister would always jump in because he's eating the cat food away from the cat. I said, "Julie, he just saved me. He just saved." They'd stung him too. He saved both of us. He heard them, and gave me a warning. Anyway, so she gave in, and we fed him 3 or 4 pouches of cat food. He loved that cat food. Anyway, I had Reese's peanut butter cups he liked, but after so many sweets, he stopped. I gave him 3 or 4 Reese's cups. Then I opened up a pack of hot dogs. I ate a half a hot dog, gave him the other half. When a dog saves your life, or potentially does that, you treat him. And he was a wonderful dog. I loved how he played with you. He'd stick his chin and his feet. He'd put his paws, not his feet, he'd put his paws on the grass and put his chin on top of his paws. Then he would raise his rear end, and we fixed him with a stub tail. When he's a baby, we put a rubber band around his tail, and we wanted the stub because that'd be much cuter. It didn't hurt him. It just, all it did is it just killed the circulation. He didn't cry or nothing. It didn't hurt him. And he had the cutest stub tail, but when he would put his chin to his paws, his rear end would stick straight up, just as high as he could get it. And he would shake his rear end when he's playing with you, and that little stub tail moving about 100 miles an hour back and forth. That's how he played. Picture his stub tail here, 100 miles an hour back and forth. It was the cutest dog we've ever had. It was a wonderful dog. I think we had him 12 or 13 years. Well, we lived, Mom and Dad, they live on a very chip and seal road. One car a day. That's no traffic at all. But I have seen him get hit. He survived that. Apparently, he got hit by a truck. I was gone. He got hit by a truck, and a week later, he was a hilly yard. My sister heard him scream or yelp, and he collapsed. And apparently they didn't take him to the vet. Apparently he passed away. I tell you what, when that happened, we all fell apart. Part of the family, part of me died that day. A quarter of me or eighth of me died that day. I've never been the same. He was a wonderful dog. I miss him very badly. Wonderful, and boy, he's strong. But when my dad's strong, but my God, he'd overtake he was a real strong dog. He wasn't real big, he wasn't real small. I guess he probably, I don't know, pavement. He was a good sized dog. Best dog we've ever had. And you owe him because if it wasn't him for him giving me that warning about those hornets, wasps, they probably found me swelled up from being stung to death. Yeah. Oh, I was gonna jump in that water if they, because it was nasty old pond. But yeah, if they start stinging, that'd make that dirty old pond look pretty. But they probably stung you too quick. I probably wouldn't even got there in time. Time I got there, it probably stung me 1,000 times. There are 10 million of them. Anyway, tell Dad and Uncle Pete about it, and they go down there and they take a sprayer with gasoline and basically just about kill them all. But they said that, because they were the second wave of people, me and the dog, Scooter, and my Uncle Pete and Dad, they started attacking them before they got there. So for some reason, the second wave of people really stirred them up. They got stung a few times before they killed them all. But I think they tore down the nest and destroyed it. But they told me don't go there because a lot of the wasps will come back thinking they can find a nest or whatever. You'll get stung again. That was the most horrifying when I seen that nest up there. But thank God for old Scooter, our dog, man. He gave me the warning. Yeah, he had trouble honing in on them. I guess because they was high. Well, they wasn't too high. You see that pole light? Can you see that pole light? They was lower than that. They easily could have got stung. For some reason, he's having a hard time holding those ear frequency. And when he finally honed in on their frequency of them buzzing, his face just jerks up like lightning. And he starts raising Cain. I thought his barking would stir him up, but no. Buddy, Scooter, rest in peace, buddy. I mean, wonderful dog. He saved me. He truly saved me. And him. He'd been stung too. Thanks, Scooter.